All right. Hi, I'm Rachel Patterson with Moore County GIS, and Rachel Smith is actually with Moore County GIS. We like Rachel's. And she's going to be running the computer for me, or the website. So, back in June this year, Pinehurst had a huge event, a historical event, where the men's and women's U.S. Open golf came to Pinehurst, and that introduced about 140,000 people during those 2 weeks. And it was historic because they've never done men's and women's back-to-back weeks at the same location, so Pinehurst was kind of cutting edge. The GIS department was cutting edge because we wanted to try ArcGIS online, and yeah, we piloted it with this event. Moore County was tasked with mobile mapping application, having public maps for the public to see. Our CVB, Convention Visitors Bureau, had the public website and their website, because that way they could tell people, because they shipped people in from parking lots, so that it was easier to answer questions that way. But the main thing was we had to create secure security mapping for all the local, federal, and state public and security agencies. So we were working with probably 50 to 60 agencies all across the board. So this map that you're seeing here is actually one of the secure maps that was in the pulled up at all times in the JOC, which is the Joint Operation Command Center. It was, you know, a trailer full of all the letters and acronyms of every agency you could ever think of. And also, it had an on-site 911 center, Pinehurst 911 and Moore County's 911. This map encompasses all the security layers and all the course event layers all in one. It also included the weather and the wind radar. The one good thing, thanks to the Boston bomber, the Homeland Security got really involved with this event and came down and gave us the CBAT data, which is a computer-based assessment tool. And Rachel's going to pull that up. And basically, these were the hot spots. They came down and assessed, and hot spots were where either the players were staying, the routes they took to and from the course, and any other structure that was going to be used for the event. And what they did was they would come in and they would give us the floor plans, and this was all interactive. They'd give us the floor plans, and we'll go into a room first, Rachel, if you don't mind. Okay. But you can see that Rachel's pulling up the floor plan, and then they went in and they actually took video inside each room of every building. This was used, in a case of an emergency, this would be used to be able to communicate, hey, the stairs to the left, see that, you know, and be able to navigate somebody that's from out of state or from out of the area that doesn't know the Carolina Hotel or the resort clubhouse. So you can see how, and you can zoom in and out. And you can manipulate you can move, pan, zoom. I mean, you can see so it was very 360. Another feature that they had was the routes were videoed around the buildings. So, and you can see the red lines represent the route. And we'll go to one of those. So. And it shows you the overall map, and then it will show you where they're driving so that you would know. And you can actually stop and pan around, zoom in, zoom out at any location. They had this from the hotel where they were staying to the clubhouse. So that was, the thing about this was that the Homeland Security software didn't integrate with our map, so we had to come up with a solution rather quickly and have it integrated in the map. Like I said, this was used only for internal purposes. This was not accessible to the public. Thankfully, we were lucky we didn't have to use this software or use this for any disaster or a security event. Now we're going to show you the weather radar map. Let me let Rachel pull that out. If you've ever called Pinehurst Resort, it doesn't matter if we're in the middle of a hurricane, tornado, a snowstorm, they're going to tell you it's a beautiful day in Pinehurst. So this will show you if it's actually a beautiful day in Pinehurst. It was raining last night. We didn't get any snow. So. The radar actually was used often because you can imagine dunes, south, heat, thunderstorms. And you really don't want a professional golfer out there with a metal club during a thunderstorm, and you've got to evacuate public as quickly as possible too. So this was really probably used the most, along with the NOAA data. So for just in case of an evacuation. Okay, so Rachel's now going to change this map from the men's to women's week. This was very tricky because not all items were used from the men's to women's. They didn't have the same parking. They didn't have the same parking routes. They didn't even have the same security post. The women's was a little bit less attended, so they actually decreased a lot of the security posts, and they could man them better. So this was probably the biggest challenge for us, and how to change that back and forth. GIS set up specific maps. So this was the main map. This was like everything but the kitchen sink. But we also set up specific maps for the State Highway Patrol. They also needed interactive maps because their security posts were all along the highways, the byways, the roads, the trails, all around Pinehurst and Moore County actually. Because if you came to the event, you were parked about 20 minutes away and bussed in because Pinehurst doesn't have parking. So we're going to show you the State Highway Patrol. They had all the posts, and at each post they needed more data. The good thing about the mobile application, and the State Highway Patrol loved this, was that they were able to pull this up on their phones and get all this information and not have to either come back to the jock and meet up and get paper maps. They were able to get all this right there on their phone, and it was very effective, and it was a great communication tool. I think it's down to the bottom now. And then you hit that. Well, inevitably it's going to fail.
Oh, there it is. Rachel.
Oh, okay. So this was all the information they needed. They needed to know more of the details and what buses and what routes and what that post was supposed to be doing. Not all posts were alike, so that helped the State Highway Patrol, the additional information that might be needed. So we also set up maps for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the what else was there? A fire map, a health department map to do all the inspections of all the food sites.
We tried that.
Yeah, we tried player tracking, and it was advertised that we could do player tracking and get all the points, but unfortunately we were unable to do that because it basically was we couldn't just get like the last hour of tracking dots, so we had points for hours, so you couldn't really filter it. That was one thing that Esri was working on, so we weren't able to do that. And why the public safety wanted it was they wanted the top 10 players to be tracked because that's where all the crowds were going to be. Using ArcGIS Online and desktop and mobile mapping capability allowed us capability to update real time, regardless if users were using the desktop or mobile applications. Allowed the JOC and the on-site E911 that requires a lot of processing needs to still use the same data, but also use a desktop computer. Allowed mobility needs for public safety and security to access all the data anywhere from a tablet, from a mobile phone, from anywhere. And the ease of the platform gave confidence to new users. We actually had these trifold tips, tricks, instructions, and we actually were pleasantly surprised. We had one for Android, one for Apple. We were actually pleasantly surprised that this mobile application was so easy to use that we really didn't have to do much of that. The one thing that we did do, thanks to Hope Morgan, we were able to integrate this with their, what was the Sparta system. So that is a mapping system that all the state employees tend to use and are very familiar with. So it was very user-friendly, even integrated in their system. So that got us, it was really positive, really positive. The key points of this project was public safety and USGA started planning a year and a half in advance, maybe even 2 years. And it was always known to them that we were going to be doing the mobile mapping. Well, Moore County GIS found out approximately 90 days before the event. Small minor details. So we had to really do all this in about 90 days and integrate this, that, and get all the needs and, figure out, and not only use ArcGIS Online really for the first time. Another key point was there was zero budget. So that's always nice. This event actually, the USGA was actually so impressed with this mobile mapping application. They were on an archaic CAD mapping application, one I had never even heard of, and I came from an AutoCAD background. That they actually, this coming year, they have converted all to ArcGIS because of this mobile mapping application. If you're wanting to know more information about this, we do have about a 5-minute video on YouTube that you can go see. You just go to YouTube and you search Moore County GIS or Moore County US Opens, and that tells you more about it. You can like it. We'd really like it if you liked it. But this also, you can get the USGA's perspective because we interviewed them and the public safety and get their aspect of it and how it really helped them and the benefits there. So it was a successful, stressful event, but it really was a success and we were very pleasantly pleased. So, have any questions, let me know.